What's up, Attack MMA? I'm your host, Zach Weicker, and today we got a very special guest. He's a professional fighter with a 10-5 record. He'll be fighting on UFC Fight Night on May 3rd against Junior Tafa. Please welcome Tuco Tokkos. Tuco, thank you for joining.
Thanks for having me, bro. Pleasure to
Of
be on.
course. And I like starting the interviews by going over your background, and you started overseas in the UK. So how's it like getting into the sport over there?
Um, I like to think of myself as old school, even though I haven't had that many fights. But yeah, when I was training, it was more like tough guys, hard men. It wasn't like the sport is today because I started training over 10 years ago, 12 years ago about. So it was, yeah, I had my first fight, I think 12 years ago, which is crazy to think of now. Yeah, the sport was like, it wasn't like it is now. Now it's so mainstream. Everyone knows about fighting. Everyone knows someone who's in the UFC. But like when I first started training, it was still kind of underground. So yeah, it was like not a lot of people were doing it. So that's where I started out, and then now the sport's just grown and it's huge and it's mainstream. It's awesome.
Yeah, and of course you decided to make the move to the United States. So
Yeah.
what was the inspiration behind that?
I was signed to Bellator at the time, and I'd come out to visit like some family and stuff, and I was training out here, and I was like, man, the training out here is just so good. So when I signed to Bellator, I moved out here and started training at the gym that I'm still at now. It was like 3 gyms ago, but we kept moving and moving to a bigger space and changing the name, and I just stuck with it, man.
Of course, and I could just imagine all the obstacles you had to overcome moving from one country to another. So what was the biggest challenges and adjustments you had to make when you moved to the States?
There was challenges like all the paperwork and you guys drive on the wrong side of the road here, and all that kind of stuff, getting set up with a new bank and all this kind of shit. But I mean, the perks of living in America far outweigh any obstacles, especially down here in South Florida. It's like great weather, great people, the lifestyle and just the standard of living is so much higher here than back in England and London. London's a grey city. It's doom and gloom. So moving out here to the sunshine is like a big step up in just the quality of life.
Yeah. And you mentioned driving on the other sides of the road. Is there anything
Yeah.
else you miss from London that's not in the United States?
Mm. I miss stuff, but nothing good. You miss people, of course, family, friends, and you miss like just home comforts, the food, the candy bars that you're used to, the TV shows that you're used to. But there's actually some British food stores here. There's like a store that imports like British candy and stuff, and you can get all manner of TV on the internet these days. So there's not much that I miss really. I go back less and less. I used to go back a few times a year. Now it's like once a year, every other year I go back. There's no reason to.
Yeah. And as you have been on both sides and you mentioned the food there, I know a big conversation with the food in America is it's a lot of fat, but a lot of people say it's a lot better than the food in London. Obviously, you've had both. So what's your thoughts on that whole debate?
So being from London, London's like New York. It's a very diverse city. So we have great restaurants, but they aren't English foods. Does that make sense? It's like great Italians, great Mediterraneans, Arabic food, stuff like that. And it's really high quality because it's like a big metropolitan city that has a lot of money. Um, but in America, just the access to stuff is so much easier, especially when you live in a big state. Just at the end of your street, there's every kind of store, every kind of restaurant. You can get food in 20 minutes. But I'd say the quality of food and the ingredients is definitely better in England and in Europe. Out here, it's like there's a lot of fucking high fructose corn syrup and all this kind of shit. Stuff that's banned in
Yeah.
Europe, all the food colorings and stuff. But we have free will and you don't have to eat it. So there's no
Yeah,
excuse.
that's a good point. And to go from that to your upcoming fight, this will be your third fight with the UFC.
Yeah.
You're still looking for that win. So how hungry are you to
No.
get your first win in the promotion?
It's weird because starting out 0-2 isn't a good look. But then when you look at it, it's like the first fight was on short notice, 3 days short notice. I was on the other side of the world against a top prospect, an undefeated guy. Um, I dropped that fight. Then I went and I fought another undefeated prospect who has a big kickboxing resume from a great gym. They were hot on him. And I was disappointed in my performance because I thought I can beat that guy, you know. I was too worried about what he was going to do. But again, another undefeated prospect. He didn't even punch me in my face. It was a close enough fight. Took him down in the second, took his back. So I still kind of have that chip on my shoulder. Like, I haven't truly been beaten, even though I've lost 2 fights in a row now. It's like, I mean, no one really beat my ass, you know. I didn't get my ass handed to me. So I still got some confidence, you know. Maybe that's just me being fucking mentally ill. But I'm like, oh damn, I'm still in this, you know, and they've given me another opportunity. So I need to really I feel like this is my real coming out party where I can go on the offensive and get it done, you know, and get that first dub.
Yeah, and you mentioned taking those losses, and taking a loss is never easy.
Hmm.
You mentioned your mindset there. So would you contribute your mindset to the reason that you're able to get over the losses and move on to whatever's next?
100%. It's definitely due to the mindset, but also I haven't been punched in my face in the UFC. So it's like, okay, it's partly mindset, but partly that, you know, it's like even the last fight, I don't remember him punching me in the face really. I didn't really have a mark on me, maybe on the ear once. But yeah, like so it's but that's down to mindset as well, I guess. I'm always confident, I'm always coming to win, I'm always coming to finish. So that helps, I guess. I'm not a person who gets like down and depressed about results like that. I'm like, it's over, on to the next.
Yeah, and you mentioned being disappointed in your performance in your last fight. So
Yeah.
what lessons were you able to learn from that that'll propel you for this upcoming fight?
Just about doing what I want to do. Don't be so reactive. You have to have action and not just reaction, you know. And I was worried about his striking. The whole game plan was centered around evading him, move around, get away from him in the first round, make him tired, then wrestle and counter and all this stuff. It's like I need to go forward. I need to assert my dominance and my game plan first. You know, I can't just react to my opponent. So I definitely learned that. You have to go get it.
For sure. And something you unfortunately see in the UFC is a lot of times after three losses, they will cut a fighter.
Yeah.
Do you feel any extra
Yeah.
pressure with that stipulation?
100%. I know my job's on the line. I know I need to get a win. You know, it's that simple. We're all realistic. We're all grown up. It's like, it's win or go home.
Yeah. And with that extra pressure, how do you mainstay training and focus on just training and not let that extra pressure get to you?
I mean, that's all you can do really is just do the work, right? It's like you have to leave no stone unturned. You have to do the work and put yourself in the best position. It's like the pressure is a good reminder because you feel it at night. You go to sleep and you're like, damn, I need this win. I'm gonna go harder tomorrow. So it's good, man. Pressure can only be good.
Yeah, pressure builds diamonds. And
Yeah.
move on to your opponent. You will be fighting Junior Tafa. So what's your thoughts on your opponent and what do you like about his fighting style and his strengths?
Um, Him and his brother, I like their little crew, man, their little Tafa gang thing. They seem like some real dudes, man. I like them. I like their kind of vibe. He's a banger. He always comes to get a KO, which I respect. So I'm just gonna meet him in the middle, man. We're gonna see what happens, right? I know he's got a chin. Them kind of Polynesian guys got a chin. Um, but yeah, it's a good fight. I feel like it's a good matchup. Like I said, I fought the undefeated prospects before. Now they're just giving me a guy who is just a guy. So it's like I feel it's a good matchup, you know.
Yeah, and obviously the big thing with him is he's moving down for this fight.
Yeah.
How do you think that'll play a factor in this matchup?
I've been thinking about that because I used to be a middleweight. He's coming down from heavyweight, so hopefully there's not too much of a power disparity there. But we're the same height, and I think I have more reach, so it shouldn't be a factor.
Yeah. And of course, when you mentioned all the Junior Tafa strengths, that's his strengths. But when you look at yourself, where do you believe you will stand out in this fight?
I mean, I know he's got crispy boxing like in the first round, but I think I have better cardio. I think I have better wrestling, better jujitsu, better kicks, maybe. So it's like I feel I have more tools. With me, I have to not get knocked out with a punch. I think that's how I lose that fight, is to get knocked out with a punch. If that doesn't happen, I think I have much more tools to beat him, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned he likes to stand and bang. You mentioned meeting him in the
Yeah.
middle. Do you think that's when you stylistically look at this fight? Do you believe that's how it's going to go down, you two just standing and banging in the middle?
Well, yeah, he's good. if he has space to come forward, he's more dangerous. So I'm gonna have to go forward, but he goes forward too. So we're gonna have some exchanges. You know, that's a fight. That's how it goes.
Yeah. And that will result into a fun fight. And onto
Yeah,
your training for this fight, how's your training camp been?
been good, man. A lot of guys have fights in the gym. There's a lot of big fights coming up. We've got Michael Chandler fighting next week in Miami. Gilbert Burns is fighting the week after me. We got six guys fighting this week, two in the UFC, four in PFL tonight. So just the whole gym's been in camp, man. The sparring's been crazy. And it's good, man. It's a good environment to be in, you know, when everyone's getting after it, everyone's in shape, everyone's sparring hard, everyone wants to get paid and win. So it's a good environment to be in.
Yeah. And earlier on, you mentioned you've been training at Killcliff for quite a while. So, how would you
Yeah.
describe your experience there and what are your relationships like with your coaches and training partners?
I've learned that like the gym changes, you know, like it can change name, location, color of the logo, whatever. But it is actually the people that make the team, you know, and that's where I invest myself. It's not so much like I don't always rep the fucking logo, but it's the people that build the team. They're my teammates. And I was talking about this the other day because I was like, I could have just as easily ended up at a rival gym. I could have been at ATT, but I'm glad I'm at my gym because the relationships that I've built, the people that I've known years after years, and we've traveled together and cornered and fought and hang out and our families and stuff. That's the greatest thing that I've taken from this sport is just the relationships that I've made, you know, the like-minded people, because we've all been on the same journey, and that's something special, you know. I often reflect on that. Could have a hard sparring day, and I just look around the room at all these people from different countries and walks of life, religions, faith, creed, color, all that stuff. And it's like, but we're all on one journey together, you know, we're all a part of each other's story, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. And on relationships, someone you are very close with is Brendan Allen. So,
Yeah.
how would you describe your relationship between
I
them?
was I was just on the phone to Brendan because I had to buy a new fucking washing machine because when this motherfucker stays at my house when he's in camp and he does his laundry like once a week. I wash my clothes after every practice, right? He'll just pile up the clothes in the corner and then he'll do one huge load and it fucked up my washing machine because the loads are too heavy. Of course, when I called him to tell him this, because we always have the argument, and he's like, no, the machine's built for that. But the dude installing my new machine said, no, you have to just do like medium loads, don't fill it up. I call him, of course, all he does is make a joke that he has big loads. So that's Brendan, man. He's my boy. I think he's going to fight sometime in the summer. He's trying to find an opponent now or work on what's going to happen there. Obviously, he dropped two fights. We've never both been on this losing streak like we are now. We're both on a two-fight losing streak in the UFC. That's bad. So people are kind of hating on our team, like our little duo. But at the same time, like the fight before last, he fought the number one contender. He fought Imamov, right? And he handled him in the first round. He dropped a close decision in the guy's hometown with the drug testing and the commission and all this bullshit, traveling, time difference, all that stuff, whole country arena against him. Like when he was walking out, people were literally like threatening his life, like doing fucking this in his face and all this shit. And he dropped a close decision. He handled the guy in the first round. He dropped a close decision. Then the guy goes out there, starches the former champ. Like, I think that makes Brendan look good. And then Fluffy as well. Like, he easily could have won that fight. Again, handled him in the first round. Just little lapses in concentration and bad decisions give away the fight. But he walks away from both fight with no damage, like thinking like, what the fuck? I could have beat this guy. Like, I fucked up. So again, like he hasn't been whooped really, you know what I mean? But haters are gonna say that we've both been whooped. So it is what it is, man. But we're both here doing good, making money. That's all that matters, man. And our families are all healthy.
I agree. Brendan is one of the best. And of course, when you face the best, those fights can be very
Yeah.
close.
He's still underrated though, man. He's still underrated, which
Yeah.
is crazy to me.
Hey, the fans will start noticing very soon.
I
But
hope so.
you mentioned that washing machine story, and
Yeah.
obviously you guys are very close. So I'm curious, is there any other stories that stick out to you?
Bro, we got so many stories I couldn't tell you, bro. I've got so many pictures on my phone of Brendan, like in bad spots. Like I'll catch him like every fight week. He likes to shave his whole body, right? Just so he's slick. And I always catch him and take a picture of him while he's shaving his fucking body. in the hotel. I got so many pictures of that guy, but they have to stay in the vault. If he starts a war with me, I'll start posting them. He knows not to start a war with me because I got ammo on everyone.
I mean, he did break your washing machine, so
Yeah, I know, but I'll give him that. He said it was over the years, so he's just partially to blame.
sure, sure. And you also corner Brendan Forrest fights. So, what is it like to corner him instead of being in the cage?
Bro, when we corner, we both wish we were fighting. It's weird. We get more nervous for the other guy fighting than ourselves, you know? But it's always cool to share those moments. Like we've been together over 20 fights now. And we like, whenever we get to the cage, we always dab each other up, have a hug, and we smile because we're like, we're back again. You know, we just keep on going, man. That's it. On this journey, we've been all over the world. We've cornered each other in like four continents: Asia, South America, Europe, fucking America. It's crazy.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
mentioned four continents there, and I know you're a big traveler. So,
Yeah.
what got you into traveling?
Dude, just where I come from London, but I come from a shitty neighborhood. So it was always like, I got to get out and see things, man, and see the world. So I've always been motivated to do that. It's one of my favorite things to do, just see the world. It's a big old world out there, man.
And obviously, well, you travel to a bunch of countries. You must have a favorite. So, what is your favorite country you've been to?
Damn. No one's actually asked me that. That's a tough question. I love America. That's why I live here. But a country other than America, I do love Asia, man. I love Japan. I love Thailand as well because Thailand's cheap and beautiful. Yeah, I'd say Japan or Thailand, somewhere in Asia.
Yeah. And I know we are talking about food earlier. So, when you travel to all these other countries, what has been your favorite food that you've had from one of these
Oh,
countries?
damn, bro, you're killing me. I
These are the
love
hard-hitting
food,
questions,
man.
not the MMA ones.
Give you like a top 10 cuisines, man. Yeah, I do. I love Thai food. I love real Chinese food because China has like eight cuisines.
Yeah.
In America, people just think Chinese food's Chinese food, but they don't even have real Chinese food here. They have like Americanized, but China has eight cuisines from the different provinces. When you really get into that, China has some great food. And I love Japanese food, of course, sushi and yakitori and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. And for this upcoming fight, you'll be traveling to Iowa, not the
Yeah.
biggest place to travel to. Is there anything on your mind
Nah,
that you want to do there?
dude, I never thought I would go there. I do actually, everyone makes a joke about the corn, but I do actually want to go and see like a cornfield,
Yeah,
you know, like the crop circles and shit. I want to see some shit like that.
of course. And my final question for you is you've been to a lot of countries, but I'm assuming there are some countries that you have not been to. So,
Yeah.
what are a few countries on your bucket list that you want to travel to?
I want to go to Argentina because I like steak and I have a teammate, Emiliano Sordi and Esteban Ribovic. They're always talking about the meat there and I have to go there to eat. So I want to go to Argentina and eat. I want to go to Congo as well in Africa. Yeah, I got my teammate Ange Lusos from there. I want to go there too. And where else? I've been a lot of places. India's on my list as well. I want to go to India, but I probably need to get some vaccines for that because it looks a bit much.
For sure. Tuco, is there anything you want to shout out or plug before you head out of here?
Nah, man, just tune in for my fight May 3rd, UFC Fight Night in Iowa. And thanks for having me on, Zach.
Tuco, it's more than a pleasure. I wish you the best luck in your upcoming fight. Folks, that'll be all for today. Until next time, peace.